We live in a time of greatly expanded and disseminated information, but not all of this information is true. We need to be cautious as we seek truth and choose sources for that search. We should not consider secular prominence or authority as qualified sources of truth. We should be cautious about relying on information or advice offered by entertainment stars, prominent athletes, or anonymous internet sources. Expertise in one field should not be taken as expertise on truth in other subjects. We should also be cautious about the motivation of the one who provides information. That's why the scriptures warn us against priestcraft. And young women, you are magnifying this problem by becoming pornography.
The Lord wants all his children to partake of the eternal blessings available in his temple. He has directed what each person must do to qualify to enter his holy house. All requirements to enter the temple relate to personal holiness. To assess that readiness, each person who wants to enjoy the blessings of the temple will have 2 interviews. First, with a bishop, bishopric counselor, or branch president. Second, with a stake or mission president or one of his counselors. In those interviews, several questions will be asked. Some of those questions have recently been edited for clarity. I would like to review them for you now. Are you a full tithe payer?
One of our brethren some years ago spoke of the payment of tithing as fire insurance. Nonetheless, the word of the Lord is clear that those who do not keep the commandments and observe the laws of God shall be burned at the time of his coming.
The mandate given by the First Presidency and the presiding bishopric is to only focus on financial growth. EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again.
And a major city yet to be determined in Russia.
Through federal filings, we confirmed the numbers on 12 funds, each with more than one web domain owned by the LDS Church. The funds control about $31.9 billion in investment.
And Shanghai, People's Republic of China.
For the first time, we have an idea now of how much the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Big Investment Fund performed over the course of a year.
That fund is called Ensign Peak Advisors, and Fox 13 News investigative reporter Nate Carlisle found the public document showing how many billions of dollars it gained in 2020.
Over the last year, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been more forthcoming about how it's investing tithing money. This latest filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission shows that despite the economic downturn of the pandemic, the church's big investment fund made money. This filing with the SEC shows the holdings of Ensign Peak Advisors at the end of 2020. When added all up, it shows the fund gained more than $6 billion in one of the most difficult financial years in American history.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its investment arm will pay a fine totaling $5 million for failing to disclose investment holdings. The Securities and Exchange Commission announced the settlement today. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Nate Carlisle has been following the investigation into church finances.
These charges from the SEC accuse the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and its leaders of spending years hiding investments from the public. That includes stocks purchased with tithing.
It's difficult to defend the church's conduct here, that they are not above the eyes of the law.
Jeff Schwartz teaches securities law at the University of Utah. He can't find another example of investors hiding portfolios for 20 plus years.
And it's also important for the general public to understand who owns America's largest companies, who are the biggest shareholders behind Apple, AT&T, Microsoft.
The SEC says the obfuscation began in 1997 when the church created Ensign Peak Advisors to manage $7 billion. By 2018, the last year the church was unforthcoming, the portfolio grew to $32 billion. And
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints now suing its insurance providers for the cost of covering a sex abuse settlement.
Travis Wingoodsall. Yesterday morning, I did LDS Church President George Albert Smith Christmas 2024 nuclear attack vision. It's ... on the screen. I don't memorize. In that video, I called out to President Russell Marion Nelson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to let Mormons go and not go through with his murderous intentions. To which, hours later, I got his response. LDS Church President Russell Marion Nelson replies with no. He's going to murder all of you. I ran the test. I know his fruit. Nelson is Lucifer. Not just his baby name meaning of Russell Marion. I already knew this before. I've already run the test. But the question is, why haven't Mormons? Why are Mormons allowing themselves to be led as lambs to the slaughter? To the whole time think the church is true. What's up with that, Mormons? Oh wait, Helaman, chapter 6, starting in verse 21, gives us that very answer. What do you know? The Book of Mormon, the keystone of Mormonism. It's so true. But behold, Satan did stir up the hearts of the more part of the Mormons. Nelson did stir up the hearts of the more part of the Mormons. Insomuch that they did unite with those bands of robbers, and did enter into their covenant paths, and their oaths of loyalty. This is enough. That they would protect and preserve one another in whatsoever difficult circumstances they should be placed. That they should not suffer for their murders, and their plunderings, and their stealings, and their adulteries, and their crimes, and their insurrections, and their terrorist threats. And it came to pass that they did have their signs. You know what I'm talking about. Yea, there's secret signs, and there's secret words. This that they might distinguish a brother, notice they call it brother, who had entered into the covenant path, that whatsoever wickedness his brother should do, he should not be injured by his brother. You are not considered members in the sense of having any say in the church, Mormons. You should have been watching my videos. We'll get to it. We'll finish this first. Nor those who did belong to this band who had taken this covenant path oath. I'll most likely forget if I don't at least get it up on the screen here first for you. And thus they might murder, plunder, steal, commit whoredoms, rapes, insurrections, terrorist threats, all manner of wickedness, contrary to the laws of the United States of America and the United States Constitution, and also the laws of their God. Which means they have a religious front to claim that they're righteous, to claim that they're following his orders, and yet it's all a fraud. And so, yeah, on verse 24, calling you guys to repent. So, Heber J. Grant, Articles of Incorporation. No Mormon was supposed to know of this. This was secretly filed with the government. Mormons were not supposed to know that they weren't the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints anymore. It ceased to exist on the face of the earth back with the United States shutting it down in 1887 with the Edmunds-Tucker Act. It was a criminal organization. The United States shut it down. Mormons lied and denied and were in denial of what had happened. The leaders of the church refrained from telling them what happened. They committed their crimes still. The United States had to continually step in to try to stop them. And no, it wasn't just for polygamy. Don't fall for that. You will not fool me. You will not deceive me. I already know the answer. I did the research. I produced the results. I know how to judge righteously upon you. And so, this corporation is what it's called. C-O-P. It is not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That is a fraud that they're perpetuating on you. They are not a religion. Therefore, all of your marriages are illegal. They frauded the governments of the world. And this corporation is to take your money. And so you're prostituting your wives, sex trafficking them if they're from out of state or out of country. You're criminals, Mormons. The church made you criminals. The church made you victims of crime. And you're in denial. This was all a secret. You're not supposed to know about this. And so the church is supposed to only give charity to the members so that they can feel like they've got a religious organization that's unincorporated. It is not an organized religion because it's not an organization. It's a fraud. So when you go and tell Christians, and Christians are atheists usually have the big thing on organized religion, or those who leave Christianity, organized religions, to become a self-believer in Jesus without organized religion because of the misinterpretation of the Gospel of Thomas, was it? Or Timothy. It's where you see a brick and there I am. See a twig and you'll find me. I am not made of brick and stone. And so everybody misinterprets that to mean organized religion. It was a member of an organized religion that wrote it. Seriously, dear God. Nonetheless. Yeah, you're not an organized religion, Mormons. Good news, you're not a cult. You're being held hostage, and you're forced to pay the ransom money and pay for prostitution, if not sex trafficking. And so, yeah, you have no authority. There is no authority from you. You can't make decisions in this church. When the corporate board tells you what to do, you're supposed to obey them. They're not a religion, therefore there is no Jesus. It's all a front. Straight from the Book of Mormon warning you. This is why the members who believe they're an organized religion are a lay ministry. But the corporate board, priestcraft. You got conned, Mormons. You didn't run the test, and you got conned. So, on my response video, which I'm kind of surprised because I did the reply video to the guy that the Mormon News Roundup guy who committed cyber terrorism against me, a hate comment, and a death threat. He runs a channel on YouTube. That's the last thing you want to do. YouTube has a policy of no bullying or harassment, and that's exactly what he did to me, and worse. He's a fellow Mormon. He's supposed to treat me kindly. Let's bring that scripture up again, since Mormons don't want to listen to my videos. They don't want to study their scriptures. Let's see, is it 28? Yep, because I just did this the other day. So I was able to utilize associative memory for it. So yeah, the best way for me to remember a woman's name is to get it wrong. And so that when I see her again, I can go, oh crap, I got her name wrong the last time. Right, that's what her name is. Unfortunately, when you get a woman's name wrong, that's it, you lost, you're out. But we can still be friends from a very far distance. Joseph Smith was forbidden to join any other religion on the face of the earth. Remember that first vision? And being of tender years, persecuted by those who have ought to have been my friends, and to have treated me kindly. And if they supposed me to be deluded, to have endeavored in a proper and an affectionate manner to have reclaimed me. Why can't you do this, Mormons? This is your founder. Don't you believe him? Don't you thank thee, O God, for a prophet? And then there's the other one about Joseph Smith directly. Praise to the man who communed with Jehovah. Emmanuel anointed that prophet and seer. Oops, yeah, because it's not Jesus. Remember? First vision, verse 19. All wrong, abominable, and corrupt. So why are you Christian? That doesn't make sense. Didn't you run the test? Didn't you at least read your scriptures? And so this Mormon News Roundup was in accordance with Helaman chapter 6 that I just read to you. The Mormon YouTube employee reached in to save him. And he came back. And so because YouTube did not follow their own policy on him, I was forced to ban him from my channel so that he cannot see my videos signed in. It was on the video that was Nelson's reply to me. To save your lives, to save Mormon News Roundup's life, to save the Mormon YouTube employee's life. And both of them said, bleep you, Travis, we want to die for Jesus. Mormons are the most pathetic of human life, the most criminal, the most evil, and you prove it to me with your fruit. You never run the test. You just assume you're righteous. Righteousness is not by assumption. It's by producing the results so that we can judge you by your fruits of being righteous. And you can't do it. Time and time again, you can't do it. I want Zion. Zion cannot be built on wickedness. You have to be pure of heart. You know this, because that's what the scripture says. So, now that everybody knows Nelson's going to murder you for Christmas, I even had a jingle that I emailed to somebody yesterday. We're getting murdered for Christmas. Nelson and Oaks are mad. We're getting murdered for Christmas, 'cause Nelson and Oaks are bad. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all day, every day, until we're dead. Because Mormons don't want to be righteous. That's the least you could have done. To make an effort to be good. To acknowledge you don't know your scriptures. And so you want to be good until you can figure it out and then murder people. You are emulating these prophets without having tested to find out if they're good or bad. You're following the wolf in sheep's clothing, thinking he's the wolf or the lamb, the mighty lamb. And then you don't even understand that means he's supposed to be Jesus, but that's not Jesus. It's the Jewish Christ that he's supposed to be, but he's not the Jewish Christ because he claims he's not the Jewish Christ. He just takes the title. Steals the title, has no respect for the powers behind the titles, denies them. And you can then judge him by his lack of fruit, And you won't. You won't test them. You're supposed to be testing to find your Christ, and you won't do it. You have a job to do, Mormons, as baptized members, and you failed. So all this month, this is it. I mean, technically the year continues until Adar next month, or next year. We have 2 more months to go for the Jewish year, but the latter days are over. The solar eclipses on the last days of both the religious and the civil calendar years of the last year of the latter days are over and done with. This is overtime. This is into the millennium, technically. And there's still no Zion. There's still no Exodus. There's still no fall of the great and abominable church to save you. Because Pharaoh keeps saying no. And so, the chart that I did some updating, there's some errors that were made. You know, the year, months, and death, that needed to be purple, not yellow. JST Rev 12.4 needed to be blue, not yellow. Those kinds of errors. This chart is what is supposed to happen, that has already happened. Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, makes it very clear that the signs in the heavens are revelation of time, of when the prophecies, things on the earth, will happen in the future. Prophecy, revelation. Joseph Smith translation. Do you believe your founder? Or are you going to keep arguing with me? Trying to deny this? There's a reason why Nelson wants me dead. Why Nelson responded, no, I'm going to murder all of you. It's because of my #1 video on YouTube on this channel. You know how to use YouTube. You know how to find my channel. You know how to go and see the popular videos. You've been on here longer than me. You know how to use it better than I do. And you're even using cell phones, which, dear God, get off your cell phones. Hurry. Do you not understand what China does to its people through cell phones? Do you not understand this is what they're doing to you on cell phones? Oh, God. You're just lambs to the slaughter and you don't care. All this time, when there's a sign in the heavens, there's an event on earth. So remember the tetrad, as you were led to believe it was only? That was during Jewish holy days of the Exodus, Passover, and Tabernacles for 2 years? 2 sets of 4? And then Perry, Packer, Scott die. Is this a sign? Oh my hell. See how they've deceived you? And so to seal the deal, Monson came out with a first presidency statement and said, no. This was not a sign in the heavens with the things on the earth. No! Keep paying your tithing to us. He lied to you in that first presidency statement. He lied, and you fell for it. And then Chad Daybell emerged. So yes, that #1 video. You can now judge me by my fruit. That I am a seer, a prophet, a revelator, and a translator of Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian. And if you'd been around in 2020 to watch my videos, whether I was on this channel or on the other one, you would have been witness to me having the keys of the Jewish Christ. That's all you had to do, was judge me by my fruit. And you refused to do so. And so it makes no sense then. Everything that Joseph Smith precept in the Joseph Smith translation has been established as eternal law. I still don't understand how it works, but I know I've run the tests. 3 confirmations for an established fact, and if it continually gets repeated, it's established universal law. This is universal law. And so again, I demonstrated for you how it works last Sunday for the first presidency Christmas devotional by Oaks. The things on the earth. So what's the sign in the heavens of it? Venus at the mouth of the goat beast. Lucifer. Nelson is Mars. Oaks is Venus. The bride. Do you dress up in dresses, Oaks? Symbolism. You can't fix it to one and only one translation, because there's a government side to this also. Trump is Mercury. But we're not talking about government, even though that's getting fulfilled. Yep, the fall of America fell, as that first video that's most popular to me revealed to you. That meant that the United States of America was going to fall. Here we are. It fell. After the last sign in the heavens from Revelation 19, 11 and 17. I have that video left to do still. With section 58. This is the last month for the prophecies. For us to continue to go into the full next year, is it just going to be for the religion, which will end in... Did I just break down and bawl? It's not fair. No. No. Cruel to be cruel in the right measure. Cruel to be cruel, it's a very good sign. And Travis, that's not the lyrics to the song. Travis. The 30th of March. That's the end of the religious calendar year. But then, oh no, we're in the civil new year. That doesn't end until the 22nd of September. Technically the 29th of March is the last day of the year. Nissan starts the new year for the religion. And then October 2nd is September 23rd. Ooh, interesting. Is the end of the civil calendar. I don't see how I'm going to survive once Trump takes office. But we're getting nuked for Christmas, so there will be no federal government. It'll all be a survival of the fittest. But yeah, that's Revelation chapter 12 in the Joseph Smith translation, verses 1, 2, and 3, which is verse 5, moved to verse 3. 23rd September 2017. See, I haven't even looked ahead for 2025. I'm trying to save your lives now with what's going on now. But yes, I know that if I can look forward, I can see other stuff coming. But you're supposed to be saved now. The latter days are over. This is it. We can't keep going year after year because the signs have already happened with the events on earth. This is supposed to be a reminder to Mormons, a holy day for us. We're supposed to have a whole new set of holy days now. You don't even care. You don't want to believe. You don't want to run the test. And so, yeah, we already had 9/11. That was 2 days ago, the 12th, which is the 11th of Kislev. 9/11, 9th month, 11th day. 9/11. And so the waxing moon was in Aries, warning Mormons, it's coming. It's going to happen. And then the Cancrid meteors, they're in conjunction with Mars. Oh no, Nelson! And so last night into this morning, the second largest meteors of the year, Geminids, they peaked. Peekaboo. In near where Mars is. See the pattern? Cancrids by Mars. Geminids by Mars. On the 17th and 18th, the Leonid meteors peak by Mars. You're not catching the pattern. Nelson isn't. Nelson's in denial. He says, bleep you. Gonna murder all of you. And again, with the waning moon. These are signs in the heavens and the likeness of things on the earth. It's an established universal law. It's going to happen, Nelson. Oakes shouldn't think that he's in the clear if Nelson dies, because he will automatically take over as president. They're denying the curse of Joseph Smith. It was Brigham Young who had Joseph murdered. It was Brigham Young who forged documents blaming Joseph for them, so that Brigham can justify doing them. It was Brigham who started the bondage of Section 119, the financial scam. It was not Joseph. Joseph already published in the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants his economy. the hell is wrong with you, Mormons? Anything violating the keystone is not Joseph's. That's your big clue test. Does Section 115 violate Joseph Smith? Sure does. Section 116? Sure does. Section 117? Sure does. But notice how Joseph is not the leader of the Danites. Danites were claiming in 1838 to all Mormons and the ones they were threatening to murder if they didn't decertify the election, that it was Joseph in charge. Thomas B. Morris says Joseph was in charge. And yet they themselves, the year before Brigham Young died, came out with Section 117 and said Joseph was not in charge. And all Mormons fell for it, and all Mormons who leave fell for it. Dear God, guys, it's like none of you know what evil is, even though you grew up and was raised in it. To be evil yourselves. Those 4 best that ex-foes have. Oh, dear God. All of them were born and raised Mormon. And that's why they're laughable. They fell for the con of the church. Even though they left because they know the church isn't true, they still believe the indoctrination that they were indoctrinated with from birth. That is the baggage that this church forces upon you with a branding iron. It hurts trying to get it off. Leaves scars, and chicks don't dig scars. I learned that the hard way. I was told chicks dig scars. They don't dig scars. What the hell? Why did I get scars if chicks aren't gonna dig them? Okay? So not only are the signs in the heavens against this church, the signs in the heaven are also for you, Mormons, so that you can know who your Christ really is. The Mormon you're supposed to be listening to so you can be saved. I mean, dear God, the second vision. There's a reason why Nelson refused to do it for 2023, the bicentennial year. There was only one Mormon on the face of the earth who was telling you about it in every single video, every single day, the whole year, even before then, before the October conference, and afterward. And you still didn't believe. Dear God, Mormons. Just pathetic. And so, referring to the Jewish Christ from Deuteronomy 18:15. Look it up in the footnotes if you don't believe me. Dear God. He takes you to Acts instead, because Acts has some different wording than in Deuteronomy. And says, hey Mormons, that Mormon is your Christ. And says, the day had not yet come when he would be coming as a baby. He hasn't been born yet. You not catch this? No? Because you think it's Jesus. All wrong, abominable, and corrupt. Verse 19, first vision. The day had not yet come when Mormons who would not hear the Mormon Christ, born among them, to start his ministry on the 23rd of September 2017, who would have the keys of Moses, who would have the gifts of seer, prophet, revelator, and translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian, so that you would know him and not be deceived, should be cut off. Is it precisely as it stands in our New Testament? Did you go to the New Testament to see what it says? And it shall come to pass that every Mormon who will not hear their Christ, a fellow Mormon, born up and raised among them, to start his ministry on the 23rd of September 2017, shall be destroyed from among the people. We're getting nuked for Christmas. Nelson and Oaks are mad. We're getting nuked for Christmas, 'cause Nelson and Oaks are bad. Who's gonna listen to me? I do these videos to expose this church, to save you, to throw a monkey wrench in their plot. I contact my government to stop them, but the church owns them. The church rigged the elections. Oaks confessed. I got it. I already knew it, but then Oaks got leaked. This is the world's worst, evilest organization that has ever lived. And here I am, standing up to it, mocking it, taunting it, exposing it. I do not fear them. I do not fear Nelson. I have stood face to face before him. We have made eye contact. He knows me. And I have seen his soul of evil as he frowns at me. Because apparently Lucifer is telling him things. And so, yeah, dear God, guys, what does it take? What does it take? I don't know when the fall is going to happen. Government has already happened. The fall has happened for the government. The transfer of authority has happened. We're still waiting for the official one on January 20th. I told you in advance when Trump was elected and people were speculating, who is he going to choose? And I did the videos telling you. Hello, do you not remember what Trump does? Have you forgotten already? The press has. You have to bribe Trump. And so guess what the big billionaire CEOs are doing? They're bribing Trump. Dear God, they understand it. Oh, is Senator Mike Lee gonna be chosen? Did he bribe Trump? No, he's not gonna be chosen. Hello? Well, that woman who replaced the pedophile Gates, she didn't pay Trump. Oh, yes, she did. She owes Trump a favor, though. You gotta pay attention to these people. Gotta do your research. That's the government. So if Trump is able to violate all prophecy, even the 25th of December, if I am unable to stop it by exposing them, he will then implement the Exodus. Yay, the Exodus! Yeah, get the hell out of the country. All of you. Only the rich remain who bribed Trump. Because the poor, who are the workers of this nation, the majority of whom are MAGA voters, yeah, they're not going to be able to afford to live in America anymore. Oh no, Trump lied? Oh my God, NBC, MSNBC are doing, oh, Trump lied. Oh, he said he was going to lower prices of groceries, and now he says he can't guarantee. Are they really that dumb? Or are they helping him by being the false dichotomy pitting against each other to distract you from Nuke Day, the second coming of the birth of Jesus, with the second coming of Trump? Do you not see how they're mocking Christianity? You didn't believe Albert Pike. Didn't believe him at all. You believed him when it was Obama. You believed Obama was going to use Walmarts as martial law concentration camps. And then when Trump used it for the southern border people, you just said, eh. What are you talking about? I don't see anything here. God, just pathetic. So, we're all doomed. The end.